It's Sunday, May 26, 2024, the day before Memorial Day. Typically on this weekend every year, I'm doing a majority of the setup work for my garden. But this year, we started getting decent weather in April. So I started my garden then, and I've had some really good results so far up to now. This isn't really the official first garden video of the year, if you've seen any that are on my playlist for 2024. But in this video, I'll go ahead and go over everything that I've planted up to now. And this is probably going to be what I have in the garden going forward. I might purchase a plant or two between now and the end of June, but probably not. If I do, it'll be this, the Thai hot pepper. I haven't seen any of those for sale, and I don't know if either of these are the Thai hot pepper. I buried some of the peppers from the plant that was in here last year in this potting soil, and I'm hoping that they'll produce something and come up, but it could be an effort in futility, so only time will tell. If I see them for sale, I definitely want to get at least one Thai hot pepper plant again. The rest of this section of the garden, there really isn't much to speak of, other than I started to have a carrot come up, but something ate it, and after that, it just died. The strawberries are doing a lot better this year because of the warm temperatures, and I transplanted some raspberry plants over here. Some of them took, some of them died. You can see the strawberries are spreading. All they really needed was some warm weather. All right, so let me run through everything. There's a Fresno pepper. And I have the raspberries. I've cut a lot of them back this year. Here is a purple bell. You can see there's already a little pepper on it. More raspberries. Got another Fresno pepper. A Big Bertha bell. Another Fresno pepper. A giant Marconi sweet pepper. And then in this section here, I buried some Cajun bell pepper seeds. Unfortunately, right after I buried them, something dug some of them up. So I planted some more, but I can see something else has been digging in here. Yeah. Something dug a tunnel in here. So I don't know if I'm going to get anything because of that. On the other side of the fence, I've got a jalapeno pepper. I've got a sun sugar yellow cherry hybrid tomato. And this thing has taken off. This thing has done really well so far. I mean, it's just growing right up through the hoop. Then I've got two more jalapeno peppers. In here, I put down some cilantro seeds. I bought some new ones this year, but I don't know if they're going to take. I've got mint that's going nuts in the garden. It's supposed to repel deer, but I've had to rip some of them out. And I've had to cut back some of the raspberries because they're just choking everything out. So next are the chives, which have quadrupled in size since I got them. Here, let me take a quick picture. This will be the thumbnail. And then the strawberries that are spreading everywhere. Look at them. I've got green berries. Hopefully they turn red. Well, this one here is turning red, so that would have made a good thumbnail too. But the strawberries are really spreading. In here, I've got a purple bell pepper. You can see there's already a pepper on the top of the plant. Some green onion back there. More strawberries. I've got a cowhorn pepper there. And I've got two Fresno peppers here. This one has been eaten twice by something. It's left everything else alone, but it's chewed on this one twice. So I don't know if this guy's going to make it or not. I put down two different kinds of repellent, but it doesn't seem to work. Why it's avoiding everything else, I don't know. In here, where I might have some carrots come up, I've also planted some cilantro seeds, and I've had to cut back the raspberries as well. Over here, I've got a mammoth jalapeno pepper, and behind it, I've got a grape tomato plant. Otherwise, in here, the mint has kind of taken over. I've pulled some of it back because you can see the strawberries are doing really well for a change. This part of the garden has had strawberry plants in it, but they just haven't done too well. So I've either ripped out the mint plants and transplanted them on the other side of the raised garden, or I've just gotten rid of them. And in the back corner here, I've got a purple bell. This is the same spot I had one last year, and it worked out really well. Over here, I've got strawberries, I've got a potato plant, some mint, and in here I've just composted. I haven't planted anything in this section. So if I do buy something late in the season, I might try it out here. And there's a mint plant to border it. The onions are doing really well. I composted this and then chopped it up and then put raised garden soil on top of it. So I've got a lot of stuff coming up here, but this large plant here, which I thought, pardon the motorcycle noise, I don't know how the lapel mic will do as far as taking that out. So this large plant here, which I thought might have been a red or yellow onion, because that's what I've got in this part of the bed, I ripped one out yesterday and it turned out to just be a really big green onion, which is what I have right here, in addition to other parts of the garden. Now the reason I've moved a green onion to other parts of the garden is I hear that it repels deer. But right here, this is the main group of them, and this is what I harvested first. This always comes back really strong. And then here you can see on the inside bottom of the lattice are the green beans. They're coming up. I've got two different kinds of green beans, two different brands of pole beans that I purchased from two different places. So I don't know if most of these are one or the other. I'm thinking I'm going to plant some more seeds and just see if they come up afterward. In here, I've decided to go with the sweet banana peppers, and there's three of them. And then in the back, I've got a hot banana pepper. In between, I've got a cubanelle, and I have a grape tomato plant. Now this one, when I was working on the garden, I broke off one of the stems, and I jammed it in the ground to see if it would take, because last year I did that with a few of the tomato plants, and they actually grew and started bearing fruit, but it didn't work this time around. But the grape tomato plant looks really healthy. I only intended to buy 2 sweet banana pepper plants, but somehow or another I ended up with 3 because, you know, math for Marines. So, but you can see this one's already got a pepper on it, and so does this one. Actually, the plants that were for sale at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Meijer were all really good this year. Not just price-wise. I thought they were really competitively priced, close to what we were seeing pre-pandemic. But the plants were actually larger and looked healthier. Got to stop in the garden for a minute just to check on the charcoal. Almost there. In the other section of the garden, I'll walk along the lattice where I've planted the green beans, and I'll head back here. This low spot is where I had a tunnel like what I just dug up on the other side of the garden. I don't know what it was, but it burrowed from here to there, so I just stepped on it and crushed it. Hopefully it's not a problem. So in here, there's a Better Boy tomato. And over here, there's a red bell pepper. Next is a yellow bell pepper. And then over here is a Fresh Bites orange pepper. This is a snacking pepper. So you can see I've painted the hoops to match the vegetable or fruit. I repainted all of the hoops I used this year. I ended up buying a few because I've had a few that have just given up. They've worn out. They were about $4 each, and the paint was about $7 a can, so that wasn't too bad. But every so often I've got to repaint them because it starts to wear out. Over here, there's a Cubanelle. And you can see I need to do a little weeding in here. The strawberries are coming up in here pretty good. Next, we've got a stellar slicing tomato. And I'm hoping that this one does really well. I've got a big red hoop for it to grow into. Then there's a Bonnie Green Bell. Over here, there's a Lunchbox Red Snacking Pepper. And then in this yellow hoop, there's a Lemon Boy tomato. So it should be a full-size tomato in yellow. There's a green onion back there and some strawberries along the border. And then last we have the jalapeno hot pepper, which is already doubled in size since I purchased it. So I'm hoping for good results this year. I'm watering it 3 times a day. I'm using a timer to regulate that. And just with these warmer temps, the garden is doing a lot better, a lot earlier. So I'm a lot more optimistic this year. Hopefully I don't run into too many problems, but that sort of thing always happens. I've had to trim back a lot of things that have been trying to grow into the garden, and I've also cut down some of the trees that have been blocking the sunlight. As a matter of fact, over here, you can see there's no more tree. It's gone. There's just a stump. Eventually I'll take care of that, but for right now, I've been trimming back some of the trees around here, not just so they don't grow into the power lines, which is a problem, but also to bring some more light into the garden. So hopefully between that and more regular watering and hopefully a nice warm summer for a change, I'm looking forward to a good gardening season. I'll keep you updated with videos. Thanks for watching.